VIP24k, let's talk about some cardinal rules of fundraising. What's the number one cardinal rule of fundraising? If you don't ask, you get nothing. Now, we're talking about asking, but I want to use different language. If you don't give people the opportunity to help, you get nothing. In fact, you're robbing people of the opportunity to help if you don't offer it to them. So that's one of the rules of fundraising, is if you don't give people the opportunity to help, you're not going to get anything. And you're robbing people of that opportunity. The other cardinal rule of fundraising is money follows program. Okay, money follows program. What that means is people want to help do something good. They want to help create change. They want to help make a difference. What is that difference? And how do we talk about it? That's the program. That's the program that we're seeking to fund. So, what does One Divine Line to Health do? I hope you've all got this down to laser points. What do they do? We don't need to tell a huge long story. We can say they've got the love bug. It's a van that they drive around with supplies in it, and they see people on the street that they can help. They stop and they help them. They've got a drop-in center where people can come and take a shower and get medical treatment and that sort of thing. They help people who are struggling to get out of the depths of the worst situation you could be in your life, being homeless and addicted and escaping from trafficking. And they've got a way to connect people to resources, because they can't do it all, but they can help connect you to other resources that are available. They've got a safe house for people that are escaping from domestic violence situations, so they can have a safe place to reestablish their lives. They've got a community garden up in the hilltop, I think it's where it's at. They've got so much. And it's focused on the people that are in the lowest of the low in terms of how you could be homeless and escaping from being kidnapped and trafficked and that sort of thing. That's the program. And it's run by this nurse, Esther Flores. She's this dynamo of energy, but she comes from a place of being a healthcare professional. And that's what informs what she's doing. She's loving people, she's treating people, she's treating not the symptoms, but the cause, and also the symptoms. What's the last cardinal rule of fundraising I want to talk about right now? Never, ever decide for somebody how much they can give. And what I mean by that is, if somebody says, how can I help? How much do you want me to give today? And you say, well, $100. Okay, you're going to get $100, maybe. But if you say, hey, can you do 100,000 or $1 million? What do you think? And give people that opportunity. Number one, you don't know what a person's capacity is, really, until you give them the chance to say. Most people will laugh when you offer them the opportunity to give $1 million. But one day we're going to bump into that person that says, oh, yeah, I can do that. But if we didn't ask them and give them that opportunity and show them that possibility, then we miss the opportunity. But more important, when somebody laughs and says, who do you think I am? You get to say, I don't know what your capacity is. I don't know if you just hit the lottery or what, but what's possible for you? How much can you afford right now? Let's get out my phone or your phone. I've got this page where we're putting in the donations, and it goes straight to them. And, how much of a difference do you want to make? How many lives do you want to save? What's possible? Okay, if you have to boil down to specific numbers, then say, well, I have declared I'm going to raise $3,000. Okay, or today my goal, our team's goal, is to get $4,500. Keep going with the big numbers, because why not? Okay, and people can still get it. They can get it. Okay, we're trying to go for big money here. And then they can say, well, I got $20 or I've got $100. And if they're pulling out a credit card especially, you can say, hey, do you think you can do a little bit more, get to $100 or whatever it is? Don't push it too much, because you don't want to make them mad and walk away. But keep remembering that what you're doing is offering the opportunity to change people's lives and to save lives. It is nothing shameful to give people the opportunity to help. The shameful thing is not giving them that opportunity. So those are your cardinal rules of fundraising. If you don't give people the opportunity, you get nothing. Money follows program, so people need to understand what they're supporting. And when they do, then they want to, because they can see how important it is. And number three is don't ever decide for somebody how much they can afford to give. Let them come to their own number by offering outrageous amounts and then scaling back to what works for the person that you're talking to. You know what? One more thing. People love it when their money will go further. And that's why, especially now, we're early enough in the campaign that you still have time to think about who you know that has capacity to do something bigger. Okay? And what do I mean by that? Well, on my VIP 17, Dream Team 17, we chose a group called Lifetown. This was not my, I actually proposed another organization and it wasn't picked, but we picked Lifetown. And I got back to my mom's house. My dad's funeral was the next day, and my family was over at my mom's, and I got back there. It was after midnight. We were not allowed to pick our CSP on second weekend. We were in such breakdown that they made us wait until third module. So third module, we were able to pick our CSP, and I got back home after that. After midnight, my sister was still up, and she said, "Hey, did they pick your thing?" And I said, "Nope, they picked this other group," which my sister happened to know. So I didn't have to do any more enrolling there. And she said, "Great, what's your goal?" And I said, "Well, my goal is 3,600, but my vision is 18,000. And my sister said, "Guess what? When you get to 3,600, let me know and I'll double it. But not a penny before you do it, and nothing if you don't get to 3,600. Okay, so my sister is a person who has means. And the question is, who do you know who has those kinds of means? Maybe not 3,600 or 3,000, but surely you know somebody that could do 1,000, and you could go to them and enroll them and then say, you know what would you say if, would you agree to match what I raise, like the next $1,000, and that'll light a fire under me. It'll light a fire under, help me light a fire under other people. And if you would agree to match the, when I get to 1,000, double that, or match the next 1,000 or the next 3,000, could that be possible?" And then that would be amazing, because you'd be helping me raise even more money for helping these people. That one divine line to health, right? So think about that. Who do you know that you could go to and offer that opportunity? Would you call it a match? $1,000, the next $1,000, the next $3,000. When I get there, you'll double it. Can we do that? Why not ask? Because the worst they're going to do is say no. And maybe they'll say, "Well, screw it, I'm just going to give you $1,000 and go away." You could still call that a match. And you can tell people your money is being doubled. And you can ask, "Hey, is it okay with you if I call that a match?" And then you have it. And then you're talking to people and they got $20. You can say, "Hey, guess what? Every dollar you give right now, it's going to get doubled." That's an enticement. And you can create that. I encourage you to do so. And every time you get a donation, and every time one of these suggestions that I'm making works, put it on the GroupMe and say, "Hey, I tried this and it worked, and look at my results." And you could also say, "I tried this and it didn't work, but I did it a different way the next time and it did work that way, and here's my results. And you should try this too." Okay? And when you find something that's working, look at who else is on the list that hasn't gotten anything today or is still on page 4, and offer to help them with the same advice, with what's working for you, and help them walk through it, because we're all team. And all of us get to win for any of us to win. That's what this is all about. Welcome to VIP. You got just over 3 more weeks, just under 3 weeks left to go. We're rocking it, and the difference that you are making in One Divine Line to Health is unfucking believable. Unbelievable. I'll tell you, Esther is my legacy. And just last night, I was speaking with a board member from her organization who's a friend of mine, and he was unaware that One Divine Line to Health had been picked as the CSP project. He knows about Next Level. Several of my legacies have stayed at his house in the past, and he almost started crying because he's on their board of directors and he knows what the desperation is. And this is a guy who's usually pretty dour and, you know, gruff, and he was so giddy and a little bit upset because Esther hasn't told her board of directors yet, not the whole board. So he was so happy to hear what you are doing for One Divine Line to Health. It's amazing. If you think this is just a project, think again, because you are fucking changing the world for these people. Go to it.